She parked 2 trucks in my garage without asking. Too bad I leased it to the county sheriff. I didn't even notice it at first. I had stepped out for a couple of hours. Just a normal day. When I came back, I saw something that didn't make any sense. Massive trucks parked right in front of my garage, blocking everything at first. I thought maybe it was some kind of mistake. Wrong address, delivery mix-up, something like that, but then I saw her. Standing right there like she owned the place. Bright pink suit, arms crossed. Already annoyed Karen, I walked up slowly, trying to keep things calm. "Hey, these trucks yours?" I asked. She didn't even hesitate. Double quotes, "Yes, and they're staying there." That tone like the conversation was already over. I glanced at the trucks again, then back at her. "They're blocking my garage," I said. She shrugged. "This is HOA managed space," she replied. "We can use it when needed." I almost laughed. "My garage is HOA managed." She stepped closer. "You people always think rules don't apply to you," she said. That's when I realized this wasn't a misunderstanding, this was entitlement, pure and simple. I took a breath, moved the trucks. I said calmly, "No," she replied instantly, and just like that, she made it personal. Before I could say anything else, I noticed 2 sheriff deputies standing behind her, watching. Quiet. Observing everything. Interesting. I looked at them, then back at her. "You called them?" I asked. "Of course I did," she said. "You're being uncooperative." "Uncooperative. For wanting access to my own garage." I nodded slowly. "All right, if that's how she wanted to play it, fine." I reached into my pocket and pulled out a folded document. "Before this goes any further," I said, "you might want to see this." One of the deputies stepped forward and took the paper. He opened it, started reading carefully, and I watched his face change. Not dramatically. Just enough. He looked at his partner. Then back at Karen. He said, calm but firm, "This property is under a lease agreement with the county sheriff's office." She blinked. "What?" He turned the paper slightly toward her. "This garage and the access area are leased for official use." That silence was loud. Karen's confidence didn't just crack, it shattered. "That's not possible," she said quickly. "This is HOA territory." The deputy shook his head. "Not according to this document." I folded my arms and just watched. No need to argue. The truth was already doing the work. She turned toward me again. "You're lying," she said, but her voice wasn't as strong anymore. I tilted my head slightly. "Am I?" The second deputy stepped forward. "This time, ma'am, if these vehicles are blocking a leased law enforcement access point, that's a problem." Now it was her turn to look confused. "A problem?" She repeated. "Yes," he said, "a serious one." And just like that, the power shifted. Completely. Karen looked at the trucks. Then back at the deputies. Then at me, trying to figure out how this situation slipped out of her control. "You didn't say anything about this," she muttered, shrugged. "You didn't ask." That hit harder than anything else. Because it was true. She hadn't asked, she hadn't checked, she had just assumed. A few moments passed in silence. Then the deputies spoke again. "These trucks need to be moved," one of them said. "Now. Not later. Not eventually now." Karen hesitated. For the first time since I met her, she didn't have a comeback. No argument. No authority. Just reality. She pulled out her phone and made a call. Short, quiet. Very different from earlier. Within minutes, the truck drivers showed up, engines started, and slowly, those trucks moved out of my way. I stepped forward and looked at my garage again. Clear. Just like it should have been from the start. Karen stood off to the side. Silent. Defeated. Not making eye contact. I walked past her without saying a word, because I didn't need to. Everything that needed to be said had already been proven. As I opened my garage, I heard one of the deputies say something behind me. "Next time, make sure you know who you're dealing with." I didn't turn around, I just smiled slightly, because that was the lesson here. Not everything is what it looks like, and not everyone you try to push around is powerless. Sometimes, all it takes is one document to change everything. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more, and tell me, where are you watching from?